Good day, everyone. Our group is here to provide created assessments and evaluate them according to the needs of our learners. For us to understand the differences of these assessments, we have here the guide to explain what all of these are for. So we have two types of assessments here. We have formative assessment and summative assessment. To give you a sample compilation of our assessments, I will share to you some of my assessments that I use for my learners. So I have here for grade 1 learning assessments. These assessments are aligned with the objectives of the subject matter, and this was approved by the subject coordinator and our principal, which means that I'm able to align this with our table of specification and objectives of the subject matter. Next are the performance-based activities that we need to check the transfer of learning. So I have your PBEs for Araling Panlipunan and for the second quarter of AP subject. Another sample of assessments that we have are the Google Forms assessments that we use in response of the new normal setting or the distance learning assessments. So these assessments are accessible for our students. We just have to send the links on the learner's GC and to the parents for them to guide the students while taking up the assessments.
Good day, I'm Ma'am Noemi Hardin, grade 8 and grade 11 computer teacher, and this is my assessment of learning portfolio. Grade 8 computer subject is all about learning HTML, and most of the time I'm using quizzes to facilitate my quizzes. The first example is a review quiz which will prepare my students for their periodical exams. What's good with quizzes is that aside from it is gamified and interactive, you can also have your quiz time to ensure that students won't cheat. But the best thing to avoid cheating is to make situational questions. The next example is a periodical exam, which is an assessment of learning for the whole second grading. Since our school don't have their own LMS, we use Google Forms in our exam. Google Forms is the easiest tool to use for exams. However, some of the students already knew the hack to uncover the correct answer. So what I do is I don't set correct answers yet. After the exam schedule, that's when the time that I'll set it. But here's the catch, you won't see the scores unless you download the responses. Periodical exam always come with table of specifications, so to assure that all competencies are achieved. Third one is the written activities. Whenever I let my students create a written activity, I always instruct them to use Google Docs for the reason that it's very convenient for me to check it and for them to see the feedback at the same time. For every written activity, a rubric or criteria is a must so that students will know how they will be graded and how to get good grade or score. In this example, students are instructed to create an insightful reflection on how ICT empowered their life and also write an essay on how to deal with cyberbullying. Criteria for grading is also provided. Lastly, we have the project. 50% of students' grade here in CCC came from their performance task, and most of the time, it's from their output. Grade 8 and 11 projects are both website generation. Since it's an intensive task, I always have them work in group. For them to achieve the task learning objectives, I must assure that all of my instructions are clear and complete. Then a rubric and an appropriate duration is provided. In this example, students are instructed to create a campaign poster for selected social issue in their community. And beside is their sample output.
Presenting the online assessment for the grade 12 in module learning for the subject Visual Graphics and Design and Work Immersion. For the Visual Graphics and Design formative assessment, the top or ticket activity for the motivation is to recognize the brand and logo under the learning target, which is to generate, analyze, edit, and refine concepts, while Marie or master and enforce it is for seat work. The learning target is to learn the process and tools associated needed to create meaningful design concepts. For the summative assessment, they need to develop their own brand and transfer it the document forms with the learning target Display a working knowledge of the concepts in this module by completing several computer-based typographic projects. For the work immersion pre-immersion assessment, students will create their own resume by one of the learning targets, analyze the different parts of resume to obtain the marks, be able to understand the importance of work immersion. In the post-immersion, they need to create a portfolio and will fall under the learning target, reflect all of what they learned in a month about their work immersion and to obtain the marks, be able to write report on the activities performed.
Good day, everyone. I am Maria Antoinette Denise B. Vergara, and I will be presenting the assessment and evaluation I used for my grade 3 pupils last year. Our division chose Google for Education Learning Management System. Every time I am giving examination and quizzes, I use Google Form. It has a feature to avoid cheating of my pupils. For written activities, I use different productivity tools like PowerPoint and Canva. I integrated different gamified website and application for my pupils to enjoy our lesson. For their project, I asked them to introduce themselves and pass it through Google Classroom. Thank you and God bless.